All right, I am here with Seamus. Seamus, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Very good, very good. Hey, you have fought for us before back in April. You have a fight coming up February 22nd in Pottstown. But the natural place where I think this interview should start is if you just lean to the side a little more. There you go. All right, now lean back. All right, now tell us about the boxing kangaroo in the background. That's where I think we should start.
So, that's an excellent place to start. So the boxing kangaroo in the background was a gift from a friend because I had a joke that I could beat a kangaroo in the fight, and I'm glad this is now on tape because I do think I could give a lot of kangaroos a lot of problems. I've watched a lot of tape. I've got I know what their tendencies are. I know what they're good and bad at. I think I could get the job done on a kangaroo. I'm not gonna lie.
Very good, very good. Hey, I'm all about promoting things, and if we could sell some tickets to that, which I think we can, maybe we could set that up. We got a new athletic commission in PA.
That'd be great. Listen, if you guys are doing some sort of like circus card, sign me up, Put a tall guy with a little guy and, me versus a kangaroo. That's a ton of fun for me.
We have some new collaborations coming up with celebrity boxing, and I don't know. This may be something I could sell.
Me versus kangaroo. Because really, I don't think kangaroos have much hands. And kangaroos, one of their biggest assets, I can't believe this is what we're talking about, but one of their biggest assets is, they have claws and they fight you like that. You put them in a pair of gloves, you're taking away one of their biggest tools. So I think I'd mess up a kangaroo. They're all chin also, like their whole head is the button. So I think I could peekaboo Mike Tyson a kangaroo easily.
I can't believe you put this much thought into that, but that's excellent.
Listen, I'm a professional. I watch tape. I know. I prepare for opponents. So.
All right, well, let's talk about Timothy Kang then a little bit. He's coming up in February. How are you training for him? How are you preparing for him at the Pottstown fight?
Pottstown fight. Always training at least 6 days a week. Try to do strength and conditioning. At least twice a week. Made a lot of good progress. My diet's very good. I think this weight cut is going to be incredibly easy. I don't know a ton about Tim Kang. I couldn't get a ton of footage of him, but I know he fights for Ground Control, which is a very prominent gym out of Baltimore. So even if he is not one of their premier guys, I have to assume that he's surrounding himself with great teammates. And I'm gonna try to be prepared for anything. I in that way he kind of has the advantage because he's a little bit more unpredictable. But I'm trying to keep the fight where I'm good at, use my length, use my boxing, and hopefully have a great performance.
So excellent. That's an excellent answer. One of the secrets with the matchmaker, David Harr, is, I just keep telling him, like, I know you guys aren't debut guys, but if you're fighting debut guys, just put good gyms together and everything else will take care of itself. And it's been a great recipe, So going back, you fought for us last April. So it's been almost 10 months. How did that fight go for you? And what adjustments have you made, if any, since that fight?
I think that fight went very well for me. I think I put a big lead on him early. I was sometimes I could, because we train in bigger gloves. I sometimes don't realize how much damage you're doing to a person. So I felt good after the first round, but then I looked up at his face and I'm like, oh, I'm really whooping on him, and I'm like, I'm really kind of visually putting some bad work on his face. My only big criticism on my performance of that last fight is that I think I was a little bit too comfortable in my lead. I think I had pretty firmly won the first 2 rounds, and then I think really I was trying to knock him out. I was trying to put a stamp on it. But at that point, I think to Jared's credit, he had recovered and had made a couple adjustments. So really, I should have gone back to step one. Really, I should have gone back to boxing, keeping my distance, and kind of reevaluating the adjustments that Jared was making. But besides that, I thought it was a very good performance by me. But, just a couple tweaks, kind of making those mid-fight reads a little bit better.
Very good, very good. Hey, you mentioned ground control and the benefits that your opponent will have sparring people with ground control. Talk to me about some of the guys you train with and fight with at the Fight Firm.
Fight Firm. Well, one of those guys, former 135 champ Scott Chu, who's been an amazing friend, an amazing teammate. So I see him every day, and he'll put a whooping on you, dude. It doesn't even make sense how hard that guy hits, and he keeps losing weight. He keeps getting smaller, yet he's gonna give me CTE. Yeah, and he's sneaky. He's got a lot of good moves. We have another guy, Randy, who you've talked to my coach a little bit. Hopefully, we'll be fighting for you guys in the future. Another great, really young prospect, really physical, really talented. Another friend of ours is a guy we call Loco, and he's a good friend of ours. He's probably around like the 170 mark, the 185 mark. And he brings a lot of intensity naturally with the name Loco. So kind of being able to feel that chaos from Loco and kind of feeling the top level of the amateur level from Scott, and then feeling kind of raw talent from Randy, I think are a very healthy combination to prepare me for any type of fighter.
Oh, excellent, excellent. What when you train at the Fight Firm, and do you discuss the strategy for your fight or your opponent, or look at tape? What do you guys talk about other than your training?
Typically, not everyone has a ton of their fights available online. Of course, if we can see actual footage of them fighting, that's always the best. But we kind of come from a philosophy of you have to go to your A game. You have to take the fight to where you're personally good at. You can't try and like rewrite the book of what you are good at and what you will have over people to you can't switch that up with every opponent. So really a big key of it is, reminding myself who I am, what are my A moves, what are my best moves to get there, and what does he present as an obstacle to me getting to those spots? Because I think if I can get to those spots, I can beat just about anybody.
Very good, very good. And that's perfect, because that leads me to my next question. What is your ultimate goal with this fight game?
With the fight game, I mean, I would love to turn pro before the end of the year. Ideally, maybe sometime in the summer, maybe sometime in the fall. And I would hope to ultimately fight abroad. I would love to fight in Thailand or in Japan or in the East. One championship is definitely a very prominent promotion that I think would facilitate the kind of fights I would like to be a part of. Ultimately turning pro and ultimately fighting abroad.
Mentioning one championship, they're definitely coming to Pennsylvania. I don't know if you knew that, and it's sooner than later. Yeah. So very good, very good. So, do you have a nickname or?
Oh well, yeah. My coach calls me Hunt Around Shame because one of my best physical attributes is my cardio, and we train long rounds. We'll do big rooms. We'll do multiple rounds with the same opponent, and I have a background in cross country. So I was the worst kid on cross country, but I have the best cardio in the fight room. So
right.
Yeah, so like I love doing road work. I run for fun like a psycho. So yeah,
I
100-pound shame is.
I run for fun. That's a good one. I like that one.
Listen, it's meditative, you know. I feel like that puts me in a good mindset, especially, you know, with the weather outside now. It's cold. I like to run at night, and you know, when I'm running at night, I'm visualizing the fight in my head.
What is that called? That rush that you get from running? What is what? You know what?
Oh, I believe it's called runner's high.
The runner's high. Okay, so at what point when you're running do you start to feel that runner's high, and how does that play into how you warm up for your fight? Because you kind of want to hit that high maybe as you're walking into the ring almost, or just before that.
Yeah, so usually I hit the runner's high if I'm running like 3 miles. I think I usually hit it probably slightly before the first mile.
Okay, so how long is that? Is that 8 minutes? 10
Let's
minutes?
see. I'll probably run
You're talking to a guy who doesn't run, so
probably slightly less, probably closer to 7 minutes.
all right, 7 minutes. All right, good. So how does that play when you warm up? Are your coaches aware of that? Like are we gonna do a pretty firm warm up here, leading you into a fight? You break a sweat. Have you tried to tie those two together?
That's an interesting idea, but I think definitely that's a different thing between running and fighting because you're using different parts of your body. When we try to warm up for a fight, I think we want to kind of get right up to that point, right up to the point where like I now feel fully loose, I've knocked off the rust, and then I like to rest after that point. You don't want to kind of get into a situation where now you're working super hard backstage and now you've already exerted your you know, maximum effort prior to getting in the ring.
Right. I was curious how you balance that.
So
Very
really, when we're warming up, less is more. You know, I think we want to try and do the specific sequences that we want to execute in the fight, get a little bit of a sweat, and then rest, and then save it for the ring.
Very good. Run around shame. I don't know if I'm going to be able to call you anything but the boxing kangaroo, but
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. So the fight is February 22nd. It's in Pottstown. This interview's been great. The card is absolutely stacked. I know you're in an advanced rules fight as well, so like no headgear and stuff like that. There's more on this card than ever in the history of Pennsylvania, so it's going to be a great card. But I just want to give you the last word before we sign off and we get this interview out.
Listen, guys, if you guys want to see a great performance from a Philadelphia fighter, you got to tune in February 22nd, Pottstown. First doors at 6, first fight at 7.
Absolutely. And you know we always start on time.
All right.
All right, Seamus. Very good. I enjoyed talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Amazing. Thank you so much.